What is going on, guys? It's Courtney, and in today's video I'm going to go over two plugins, and they are Regroover Pro and Beatformer. Both of these plugins are from Acusonus, and they sent them over to me to test out and review for you guys. So I'm going to make a beat and show you all what exactly you can do with these things. So without further ado, let's go. As you can see, this is Regroover Pro, and what it does is you drop your WAV files into this plugin, and then artificial intelligence splits the sounds based on the frequency range that they sit in. So it's a really cool tool if you're into sampling, or if you're a person that uses loops and you only want a specific sound in that loop. Say you don't want all the kicks or the snares or whatever, maybe you just want the hi-hat. This plugin will work to separate those sounds individually, and let me show you. Before I get started, it's worth mentioning that you are only able to put in loops that are 30 seconds or less into this, and they have to be WAV files. They cannot be MP3 files. So let me show you what this has done. This loop is 107 beats per minute, so I'm going to change my DAW to 107. And then I'm going to hit sync just so everything is timed right and nothing is stretched. Now by hitting this S button, it solos out the track, so let's hear what we have on this first layer. Let's listen to layer 2. Layer 3. So layer 3 is a lot of the little artifacts that should have probably been more in layer 2 or layer 1. But moving on to layer 4. Alright, now all together. Alright, so I noticed when we were playing these back that some of them had a little bit of warping, or I don't know what the correct word would be, but the artifacts that should have been in either layer 1 or layer 2 were separated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the activity to lower, and then I'm going to hit split, have it analyze it, and hopefully those artifacts are in the appropriate track. So let's see. Layer 2 sounds a lot better now. There's a number of things that you can do within this plugin. Like if I wanted to use this entire loop right here, all I would have to do is double click, make sure that it's gray, stretch it out all the way, hold my mouse towards the bottom layer, and then drag it into my DAW. And now I have that layer, and I could manipulate that and loop it if I wanted to, or whatever. If I wanted to chop it within Logic or whichever DAW you might be using, you could do that. I'm going to show you something even cooler. I'm going to move my endpoint. I'm going to take this section right here, I'm going to hold down at the beginning and on the bottom layer and drag it over here to C5. I'm going to double click here, and let me move this just a little bit. Hold it down at the bottom, pull it over to this pad C, sharp 5, again double click. Alright, so I have some chops on these pads. Now I'm going to go to the editor and I'm going to remove the click that is at the beginning of these chops to just kind of smooth them out a little bit. And I'm going to use the envelope right here to do that. And also within this, I'm going to reverse this. Do that by clicking this button right here at the bottom. I'm going to move my endpoint, my starting point, to make this reverse a little bit shorter. And then move my endpoints. Alright, so now I have my chops for my melody. Now I'm going to load up another instance of Regroover and drag in a drum loop. So here we go. Okay, so it was a little slow, so I synced it with the tempo that I currently have. And let's listen to these layers. Doesn't look like there's anything in layer 2, but let's listen to it just in case. It looks like layer 2 is like a vinyl effect or something. Layer 3. Layer 4. On layer 4, it's the hi-hat, so I'm just going to take the whole loop and then I'm going to drag it into my DAW. I'm going to right click on it and bounce in place because I need to normalize it. It's a little low on the volume. Now I'm going to add this kick to this first pad here, and I need a snare hit as well. Change the start and end points to make sure they're on. They are not. Well, the kick is. Snare, not so much. Alright, now I'm just going to play a drum pattern and see what I come up with. Okay, so I changed the tempo of this because I want it to be more lo-fi, so I changed it to 85 beats per minute, but I did not change the loop of the hi-hat. So what I had to do was I had to enable flex, and then I had to hit this power button right here, and then I went down until I got flex time rhythmic, and that way the loop will stay in its place that I had originally. That way it will change the speed of the track, but it won't change the pitch of the hi-hat. Gonna quantize this. Alright, now I'm gonna try to play a loop over this using the sample chops that I made with the guitar. I did a little bit of editing so that that fourth note would go a little bit more seamlessly with the fifth note. Alright, so I've created an 8-bar loop, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bounce these down into audio files. And it wouldn't be lo-fi unless I added a compressor to this guitar and sidechained it to the drums. So now I'm going to move the threshold until we get about -5 decibels of gain reduction. Alright, to finish this thing off, I'm going to add beat former to the drums. One more thing, I'm going to cut this hi-hat in half and then loop it. And I'm actually going to add beat former to the master as well because I want to add a little bit of a lo-fi crunch to the whole thing. Now I'm going to go off camera and finish arranging this beat, and then I will play it at the end. I will leave a link in the description box below for you guys to check out these plugins. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button as well as that little bell so you get a notification every single time I post. I will catch you guys in the next video. Here is the beat.
Something you don't know anything. You don't know anything. Walk around with your head in the clouds. Why don't you stand still for a minute and try to find something out? Something you don't know anything. You don't know anything. Why don't you stand still for a minute and try to find something out?